Hello everybody and welcome to the second episode of the Rebel Devil Show, where I, a Manchester United fan from the Rebel County of Cork, give my thoughts on each Manchester United game. It's match week 2 here in the Premier League, away from home at Craven Cottage. Fulham, one of only 3 teams United beat twice last season in the league. And really, after this first half, I really think that United should be winning. So I give a half-time review, and then I give my full-time review at the end. And it is half-time here at Craven Cottage. Really frustrating, to be honest. United got off to a very good start, kind of similar to the Arsenal game. Cunha with some really good chances there to give us the lead. He was so unlucky, hit the post. What a ball that was from Binder as well. Cunha took it down so well, but then Leno made a fantastic save. And you just really felt like when United had that momentum, they needed to score. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do so. I felt like Fulham kind of grew into the game the more it went on. And then, out of nowhere it seemed, United end up getting a penalty after Bassi bloody judo threw Mason Mount to the ground. Ronda Rousey would have been proud of that. Do I think it was a penalty? I was a little bit surprised he gave it. I think we see, grappling like that in the box quite a lot. But listen, I was very happy that he gave it, obviously. I was racking my brain after Bruno took that penalty, trying to remember the last time he missed one. And I think, if memory is serving me correctly, it was against Arsenal at the Emirates back in 2022, which is crazy because Ronaldo was playing in that game, and Ronaldo normally took the penalties over Bruno when he was at the club. I think the only times Bruno has missed a penalty, maybe not the only time, but at least 2 of the times he's missed penalties for United, Ronaldo was also on the pitch. So, yeah, bit of a coincidence there. But anyways, Bruno gets the penalty. There was a bit of a weird moment he had with the ref, where the ref almost kind of bumped into him, and Bruno seemed to take issue with that. And then he seemed to think he was playing Gaelic football, and he blasted it over the bar, which was such a frustrating way to wrap up the first half. There was still another 10 minutes afterwards, but I kind of felt like after that, if we were ever going to score in that half, it had to be from that spot kick. It has been a decent performance, but I do think we're letting Fulham back into the game a bit too much. Binder has made some decent saves. I will say, though, he still doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence, especially when corners are being whipped in. It's like he's afraid to go and grab the ball. I said it last week, I just don't think he's strong enough. I really don't. He's too weak. He is too weak, I think. He's an okay backup goalkeeper. That's all he is, and I think that's all he ever will be at Manchester United. Of course, we are linked with Lemens. I'll be honest, I've never seen him play, but for me, United badly need to get a goalkeeper in this transfer window. Onana is back on the bench. I mean, I said it last week and I stuck with it. I would have played Tom Heaton today. I genuinely would have. But for now, Binder hasn't actually let anything in. And as I say, he made a couple of decent saves. It was an incredible ball for Cunha as well. That would have been an amazing assist. Distribution-wise, very good. But I still don't have a lot of confidence in him to be between the sticks as a regular Manchester United goalkeeper. And I mentioned Bruno there and him missing the penalty. Bruno, for me, is just not a midfielder. He just doesn't have the discipline to play in that position. I'm sorry, but he doesn't. And I love Bruno Fernandes, one of my favourite players of the post-Sir Alex Ferguson era. Maybe actually my favourite player of that time. He's just not a centre mid. And I've spoken to people over the last kind of week or so who have been talking about, the team United should be going with. And a few of them have been putting Bruno in the midfield, and I just don't get it. I feel like a lot of people are kind of shoehorning him into the team. Of course, there was that link to Saudi Arabia in the summer, and I kind of came around to the idea that it might actually be in everyone's best interest if United accepted that deal. Of course, that didn't happen, and, Bruno is still here. I know there has been rumours about Saudi interest again. I don't expect Bruno Fernandes to leave anytime soon, but that conversation, I think, is something that might need to be had if the performances don't improve. Especially when we need a disciplined player in that midfield that I just don't think we have at the moment. I'm hoping Kobbie Mainoo gets more of a chance this season. Casemiro, he can do all right, but he just doesn't have the legs for me to play in the Premier League any longer. So I think that's a position United need to address as well. We need Šeško on in the second half. I would bring him on at half-time. I really would. I was a little bit surprised he didn't start him. I think the only change from last week was that Ahmad started over Dalot. And Ahmad, to be fair, has done okay. Hasn't done an awful lot, but when he has been on the ball, he's been decent. Dorgo, I really like the look of again. The defence look relatively decent again today. There's not too many terrible performances, but there's definitely a couple of issues that definitely need to be looked at after this game in terms of players I think we need to bring in. But in this second half, I'd bring on Šeško. Hopefully we can start creating chances again. And fingers crossed we can score our first goal of the season and go on to get the 3 points. The full-time whistle has now gone at Craven Cottage. Manchester United did score a goal, but unfortunately we let one in as well. It ends all square between Fulham and the Red Devils. Listen, Fulham played really well, credit where it's due, but I still look at that game and think United should have got something. Well, we did get something. We should have got more, though, is what I should say. Last week we were disappointed we didn't get the draw. This week I'm disappointed we didn't get the win. Lenny Yoro, I'm going to credit him with the goal, even though it took 2 deflections, but whatever. Massive credit to Lenny Yoro. What a player he is, honestly. The fact that we poached him away from Real Madrid is absolutely crazy. I really do think he has a very, very bright future ahead of him. He's fearless, he's quick, he's strong, he's tall. There's just so many qualities that he has, and it's good to see that he's decent from set pieces as well. Unfortunately, though, we did end up conceding not too long afterwards. Emile Smith-Rowe did come off the bench. He was given far too much space in the box, did grab that equaliser, and as I say, it ends all square. Some people might say there was a bit of a foul before Lenny Yoro scored as well. Look, I really don't care about that. Some people might argue the penalty as well. I literally couldn't care less. All I care about now is that United have dropped 2 points in this game, and I will look at it as 2 points dropped. Now listen, it's still a much better performance than what we saw for the majority of last season. Maybe even a little bit of the year before as well. So I am taking positives from this game as well. Mbumo, I keep pronouncing it 2 different ways. He played really well. Cunha, I absolutely love the look of Cunha. I really, really do. Šeško, when he came on, people, I think, are talking a lot about, how much of a threat he is from scoring headers. But I just think his overall gameplay looks absolutely magnificent. I really, really do. I'm really looking forward to seeing him start the game. I really am, because I do think we have a serious centre forward on our plate. I just think he needs to get that starting role now. We could see it Wednesday, we could see it next Saturday, but for me, the sooner the better. Binder, listen, as I said, he played better today than he did last week, but I still think we need to get that goalkeeper in. Lemens looks like he will be the one to come in. I'm actually pretty happy with the defence overall, though. Yoro, De Ligt and Luke Shaw did play well. The only fear with Luke Shaw is that he has an injury waiting to happen. Maguire and Heaven came on as well. Maguire has been one of the best players we've had in recent times. Heaven is another player who looks like he has a decent future. But that midfield needs to be addressed. It really does. Obviously, we talk about the goalkeeping position. We spoke an awful lot about a striker before we got Šeško. The midfield, for me, we just don't have enough defensive-minded players in that position. Ugarte is there, who I'm very hit and miss on. I didn't like him when he came on against Arsenal. I thought he was better when he came on today. Bruno's just not a midfielder. And, just to go back to what I said earlier, it's not that I want to sell Bruno Fernandes. But, I look at Cunha and how well he's playing in the number 10 role. I think Mbumo is going to be very good there too. And I just kind of wonder, where does that leave Bruno? Because him in the midfield is just shoehorning him into the team. Mason Mount, I thought, did really well the more forward he played. But there was a stage there where it was Bruno and Mount in the midfield, and it just filled me with absolutely no confidence when we're defending. It really doesn't. Kobbie Mainoo, I really don't know what's going on there. Hopefully on Wednesday he might be given a chance, but the fact that he wasn't even considered to come off the bench today, he's a young player. I understand that you have to be patient with these types of players, but to not bring him off the bench in either of these games when we're chasing some sort of result, that's a little bit odd to me. It really is. But look, again, as I said, there are positives to take. I do think that something is brewing. Something is brewing. And I think this is going to be a very competitive season. We've seen big teams dropping points. Man City lost to Tottenham yesterday. Villa haven't had exactly the best start to the season. Tomorrow we're going to see Liverpool and Newcastle play. So Newcastle, if they get something from that game, will be doing really well. I do think it's going to be a very competitive competition in terms of trying to go for the European places. And that's what United's aim is. We just need to get back into some sort of European competition. Ideally, of course, we'd all love the Champions League. If we got Europa League, I could accept it. Don't necessarily want Conference League. I just don't think the Conference League is what United need. I think if we're going to get some sort of European football, it should be something where you're in a Champions League, where you're getting the financial benefits from it. It's going to attract brilliant players, and in the long run, hopefully that leads to United competing for those big trophies. The Europa League, of course, winning that gets you into the Champions League. There's more money in that competition as well, and it's just a more prestigious trophy. The Conference League, listen, fair play to the likes of Chelsea and West Ham who've won it. Palace, I reckon, will be very good in it this season. I'd love to see Fiorentina win it though, but I really don't want to be in that competition. But speaking of the Conference League, this coming Wednesday we're playing in a competition that if we win, we'll have at least the Conference League place. It will be Grimsby Town in the second round of the League Cup. You know what? I'm kind of looking forward to this game. I really am. It's a sad state of affairs having to be in this round of the League Cup. But again, I'm coming from a very privileged position there. The last time United played in the second round of the League Cup was when we played MK Dons away from home and we lost 4-0. And would you believe that was the same day we signed Di Maria? It's like he was cursed from the beginning. But I would like to see some changes. Now, of course, we're not playing European football this season, so I reckon he's still going to go fairly strong, Ruben Amorim. But I would like to see Maguire given a game, Heaven given a game, play Kobbie Mainoo. I would like to see a couple of rotations in that game just to see, what these other players are about and to give them a chance at the very beginning of the season. I'm very interested to see who he's going to play in between the sticks because Onana was back on the bench today. Is he going to rotate the keepers in the cup? Is he going to keep playing Baynder? I really don't know, but I am kind of looking forward to that game. So I'll upload the Rebel Devil show the following day after that game because, of course, that game kicks off a bit later. And yeah, listen, I'm really enjoying doing this show, though. I really hope that we're doing it in a season where United can get back on track, have some success. But for me, the most important thing this season is to have a strong season in the Premier League. The career mode will return tomorrow. Of course, this week I will be doing an episode every day from Monday to Friday, as FC26 is only around the corner, so I want to get the Dream Team series done as quick as possible. So that's returning this week. As I said, Thursday morning, I will have my review of the game against Grimsby Town. Hopefully MWS isn't celebrating after that game. Hopefully we're celebrating here on the Straight Outta Cloyne YouTube channel. But yeah, very much looking forward to it. Thanks for watching, lads. If you did enjoy it, please do hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel. We are on the road to 700 subscribers, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Take care.